Hello, guys. Welcome to the Game Week 1 deadline stream. It has been a while. It has been a while since we've had a solo stream because if you guys have been watching the channel, we've had a podcast. We launched a podcast this season, and yeah, it's been really fun. But those are the times that I've gone live in preseason. So actually, this is the first time I've been live just by myself for the 26-27 season. So I hope everyone is doing well. There's about 10 of you guys in the chat already. Let me just double check something really quick. Yes, all right. Just checking that all the technical stuff are okay. Because this is the first, as I said, the first individual stream. So hopefully everything's okay. If you guys can hear me clearly, and all the visuals and everything is okay, let me know in the chat. If not, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching from. It's nice to be here. I will be here all the way until okay, it's hard to say exactly what time it will be from your side, but I'll be live from now until 2.5 hours later. So we'll be here for a while. I've got all my stuff ready. I've got my water bottle. I've got a drink in hand to last me the whole 2.5 hours. For those of you who are uh, from where I am, you probably know what this is. So this is a milk tea drink that I have that will last me the whole way. So there's lots to discuss today. If you guys have any questions at all during this 2.5 hour stream, just drop it in the chat. And yeah, we'll also do a little bit of discussions, a little bit of updates on the latest injury news, press conference, etc. that we have, expected or predicted lineups, right? If we see any. So yeah, really excited for today's stream. And Anthony, you are absolutely right. This is Chagi, right? Is exactly that, right? So it's gonna last me the whole stream. And yeah, let's do it, man. So let me just start by saying hi to some of you guys in the chat. VJ, nice to have you in the chat as always. Hi all from wet and windy Yorkshire. So I'm using a new software this season for those of you who've been joining the deadline stream, so I can actually flash questions. So I think I should actually um, rearrange my setup a little bit. Just give me a moment. Apologize if there's a bit of sound that you're hearing. Just give me a moment. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're good because we're gonna be here for a while. Okay. Let me adjust the camera as well. These are, I guess, things that we have to do on the first stream, so do bear with me. All right. Okay, I think the camera is great. So yeah, I have a new software that I'm using. So basically, it allows me to display the questions that I'm answering on the screen, right, as I see it. So I think this would be a little bit more helpful as well, instead of just rattling off any questions that come along the way. So hopefully those who are joining as well, who are maybe not caught up to the chat yet, would still know what I'm talking about if the question is displayed on the screen. Okay, just a second. By the way, if you guys haven't already, please help me out and drop a like on the stream. First and foremost, that really helps to get the stream out to everyone. We're at about 8 likes on the stream, so hopefully we can get up to, I don't know what's the aim for this stream. I haven't streamed solo for 2.5 hours in a really long time, so I don't know where this is going to take us, but hopefully we can aim for 100 likes, I think, hopefully. But yeah, so I want to speak about my draft first, and let me just get everyone caught up to where my head's at. why my draft is looking the way it's looking, and then I'll answer all the questions because then that contextualizes my opinions for you guys. So first and foremost, uh, lemons and Verbruggen is mainly okay. I should even start before that by saying that my chip strategy is a bench boost 1, free hit 3, and a wild card 7. So that already kind of is slightly different from what I think a lot of people are doing. Some are thinking of maybe the wild card in 3 or a wild card in 5, but not the free hit in 3. So for me, I wanted to go super aggressive. And I think the way that I've set up my chip strategy, free hitting in 3 just allows me to then really look at the fixtures beside of game week 3. So 1 and 2, and also 4, 5, and 6 until I wildcard. I really looked at those set of fixtures and I felt like a lot of these players here have great fixtures for the ones where I need them if I'm not free hitting. Right. So Lemons and Verbruggen, they rotate really well. Considering this is a bench boost as well, I will need Verbruggen to be, or the bench keeper to be playing. So Verbruggen is very much so. We just saw him play in the Conference League qualifications yesterday. I think Brighton played pretty okay, right? But to be fair, there were a couple of players in that side, in that Brighton side, who were first team but not playing. So I guess you could say it's a rather strong side, but I think coming into the Premier League, we will see a couple of changes. But yeah, Lemons and Verbruggen. In defense, it's Gabriel, Calafiori, Colwell. I spoke a lot about this combination during my team selection video yesterday. Colwell and Mikalenko here, to give a bit more explanation, is mainly because they have good fixtures after game week 3, right? Granted that now in maybe game week 1 and game week 2, other people or other FPL managers are targeting teams like Sunderland, etc. But because I have a longer term horizon for these players that I'm keeping on to. So Colwell and Mikalenko are the ones I've chosen to go for. Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo, Soboslai, and Bumo have always been in my team. And it's Zolis who is the one that I've upgraded from Kevin Schade. So I found the money. Basically, I've downgraded Soboslai. I've downgraded Verts to Soboslai to give me extra money. And with this extra 0.5, I've went Schade up to Zolis. So that's the first change that I've made compared to yesterday's video. And then Igor Jesus in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the second change that I've made. Apologies. Igor Jesus in for Calvert-Lewin is mainly because I know a lot of people have gone for Calvert-Lewin. I think on the bench boost, Nottingham Forest for Leeds specifically, I've had a look at the kind of odds for them to score for them to score in game week 1, and it's not as high as Nottingham Forest because Nottingham Forest are playing at home. So Igor Jesus is actually the one with the higher chance of scoring in that game, and that's why I've gone for him. Granted that I know Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the one with better minutes. He's also on penalties, etc. I am fully aware of that, but mainly because of bench boost and also after game week 3, which is after I free hit, there's lots of weeks where Igor Jesus would be pretty good for me. He has Coventry in game week 5, so that is a fixture I would want Igor Jesus for as well. Right, so those are the two changes I've made. Forwards wise, other than Igor Jesus on the bench, is João Pedro and Thiago. This one, no change from my previous draft. And the last player that I haven't mentioned is O'Shea. I'm probably sticking with him. So yeah, this is the team. And barring any kind of injuries or last minute news that we get from the press conference, I don't think I'm going to change anything about this draft already. So there have been two changes from the video you watched yesterday, which is Schade up to Zolis, and Igor Jesus in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, right? And obviously Verts down to Szoboszlai. So that's a bit of context as to the players that I've gone for, and let's kind of get into the chat and see what questions you guys have for me. All right, lots of you guys in the chat. Very, very nice to see you. I think you guys will be happy to know that I will be able to display your questions as we speak about them in the chat. All right, so let's start off with saying hi to some of you guys, right? Hi, Delian, nice to have you in the chat. Henry as well. Anthony, nice to have you in the chat. Up to Chelsea for sure. And yeah, you're right. I have a drink with me. It's gonna last me all the way until mm, 2.5 hours in totality. That's how long I intend to stream. If we go for longer, we'll see. Excuse me. Um, and yeah, let's have a look at a couple of. I think we'll do a couple of rate my teams as well. And we'll switch over to another view to have a look at some stuff on Twitter or X, whatever you guys call it, to have a look at some predicted lineups and also news as it comes out. So Nick says Copilot. Does Copilot actually generate a whole team for you? I haven't actually tried it this whole season, but would the data not be backdated though? If I look at the picks, it's pretty okay though. Verbruggen, Calafiori, Shaw, De Kuyper, Zolis, Bruno, Verts, Bruno, captain, Gomez, João Pedro, Haaland, vice cap. This looks like a pretty decent team, actually. Actually, a pretty decent team from Copilot. Shout out Copilot. Bloated, nice to have you in the chat, says, do you think triple Arsenal defense is too overkill for a no Haaland bench boost one? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. And the reason why I haven't done so is because I prefer to go for Zolis here. If not, I think I might have been tripled up on Arsenal. Wani says, hi Leon. Haaland, Calvert-Lewin, Broby, or Haaland, João Pedro, Thiago? Well, definitely Haaland, João Pedro, and Thiago. I think out of all those forwards that you've mentioned there, João Pedro is the one I think you definitely have to have. Ryan, nice to have you in the chat. What's up? It's good to be back. It's good to be back, I have to say. The thing with preseason is that we keep making videos about the same things. We have the same set of fixtures. I mean, granted, maybe we get a couple of preseason friendlies, but nothing like the games happening over the weekend and reacting to it immediately. So I'm so glad that FPL is back. I mean, if you are glad as well, drop it in the chat. I want to see some hype for FPL being back. I mean, it's something we waited for so long. Really like Semenyo since I first created my draft. Just switched him to Gibbs White, keeping Haaland as the Man City forward. What do you think? I actually think, I mean, obviously having Haaland up front is fine. But Gibbs White in your draft is quite pricey. So I'm interested to know where the compromise or where you're getting where you're getting the funds from, basically. Nick is in the chat. Nice to have you, Nick. So Nick is my co-host for the FPL Supper podcast. If you guys haven't checked it out, you guys can obviously check it out. I've time-stamped it as well, so you can scroll to the parts that you want to listen to. Nick says that is a strong AF team. Haaland money spread out well. Yeah, it's changed quite a bit, to be fair. It's changed quite a bit from the ones that we discussed on the pod, I'm sure as well. Vuskovic was great. Yes, but I think that's a slight worry for me. I feel like we don't know which one of Vuskovic or Buscagli is going to drop out, and I think Dunk definitely comes in. So, yeah, I mean, maybe for game week 1, I would be a little bit worried. I would want to see Vuskovic start a few games at least, just to be safe. Coyote, Robinson, or Mikalenko. I think again, and as you'll realize, a lot of my replies to the questions today will probably be based around what is your chip strategy or how long you need these players for. And I think that's going to shape a lot of your decisions, because if you only need to play for 2 weeks, for example, based on these 3 picks, I think potentially either one of Coyote or Mikalenko. Maybe marginally Mikalenko, just because of the fixtures. Hill T says, for me, Odegaard over Zolis. I don't blame you for that. I think that is fine. I think that is fine. For me, I just marginally prefer Zolis. Mainly because of the quality of replacements. Like right now on the left, I mean, aside from Martinelli, who wasn't even in the squad for the Community Shield, Zolis is really their main left winger. Sandri, nice to have you in the chat. Hume and Brentford Sangare versus Ballard and Forest Sangare. I prefer Hume and Brentford Sangare. Zach says, what's your chip strategy? My chip strategy is a bench boost game week 1, free hit game week 3, wild card game week 7. Alta Footy asks, what is your skincare? Well, my wife would like to hear this, I'm pretty sure. But the truth is, I don't actually put too much skincare, but she does nag at me to put skincare. I will do it more often. I think she's probably watching the stream as well. I will put more skincare. Shada or Enzo Lefebvre? I prefer Shada. Diop versus O'Shea. This is a great question. EKM1234. This is a great question. For me, I've gone for O'Shea mainly because, firstly, he's the captain, right? I see no world in which he is benched. I think for me, it's just not a case where I think Diop is not going to start, but I think as a new player coming in, I just have a little bit more of that fear of what if they don't include him in the team. But someone like O'Shea, who is kind of integral to that defense, I don't see them benching him. And I'm not trying to fearmonger or anything. I think end of the day, both are going to start. Diop probably in centre back and O'Shea probably at right back. But I've just opted to go a little safer. And honestly, I only need this player for bench boost, right? The future weeks, I'm not going to be, using this player. So I think it's fine, right? I think it's fine. And honestly, for your case as well, it's probably similar. I don't think there's too much between the two. I've gone for O'Shea. It's fine if you want Issa Diop. Will O'Reilly start? O'Reilly is I think there's a slight doubt, right? That's the thing. And maybe I should pull up the fixture prediction. Team predicted lineups from Twitter. So I like to follow this account called FPL Meerkat. Really, really good account for predicted lineups. Does lots of good work. Let me just have a look. Man City. Yeah, so I'm gonna just change the view a little bit. Just give me a moment. Right, so if you guys can see on the screen, this is the graphic from FPL Meerkat. So his handle is just here. I mean, this is his account, right? And yeah, I mean, he posts a lot of really good threads on X. I do recommend you guys follow him. And the predicted lineup for City is as such, right? Donnarumma in goal, O'Reilly, Vardiol, Ruben Diaz, and Khrushchev. In midfield is Kovacic, Anderson, and also Semenyo, Foden, and Shirky. Shirky is here mainly because Doku is injured, right? So because Doku is injured, Semenyo will probably have to fill in on the left. That's the expectation. And then Shirky on the other side. So in terms of O'Reilly, I think there's a good chance he'll start this game. I think there's just this small little fear that there are variations that Enzo Maresca could adopt that does not include O'Reilly. And if that's the case, then I would be afraid because you're spending 6.5 million on him. So it is a little bit of a concern. Just a little bit. Okay, there's lots of you guys in the chat. Thank you all of you guys for joining. Let me revert back to the other view. As you guys can see, we are getting used to things here. But yeah, this is my squad for those of you who are just joining. Right, let me catch up with the chat. Okay, Sandri says team is Verbruggen, White, Maguire, Calafiori, Mbumo, Pascal Gross, Bruno Fernandes, Soboslai, Jao Pedro, Haaland, uh, Calvert-Lewin. Bench boost is Kinski, Sangare, Aye, and Diop. I mean, first thoughts is that I think the bench it's okay. I mean, it's gonna get you points. Like Sangare. Okay, firstly, the Sangare I prefer would be the Sangare from Brentford. That's the first thing, right? And he will get you points. He will get you DEFCONs. Aye as well. He probably will get you DEFCON points. I just worry about exactly how many points you're gonna get because you will have Aye against Spurs and also Diop. Diop is fine, but my worry is that and one of the main reasons why, if I remove this team, one of the main reasons why I changed Dominic Calvert-Lewin to Igor Jesus is mainly because I wanted a stronger bench. So I think your bench looks fine, right? Overall, your squad looks okay, but it's like whether it's a question of whether you think in other weeks can you get to a better bench boost, which I think you probably can, right, based on that squad. So I would try to either strengthen the bench a little bit, and not to worry, right? If you guys have a strategy where you're kind of wild carding earlier or you're using chips very very quick soon after the first few game weeks, then it's fine to be more aggressive. I think a lot of people are on that kind of a strategy as well. Thinking of the forward to choose, can you please suggest me the top three? All right, this is a great question. If you don't want Haaland, then I think João Pedro, for me, is up there, followed by Isak, Thiago, there's Calvert-Lewin, there's Broby, and there's Igor Jesus. If I'm to rank all of these, I'll probably put João Pedro first. And then if you can afford it, I would go Isak second, Thiago third, and then, Broby, Calvert-Lewin. I'd say Calvert-Lewin first, then Broby, then Igor Jesus. Next, next co-pilots is with Mo Salah. Exactly, right. I would imagine that it's backdated data. I would imagine it's backdated. By the way, I hope that I'm catching up enough to the chat. This is a new software that I'm using, right? So I hope I'm catching up to the chat enough. If I miss your chat, just drop it in the again once more, and I'll catch up to it. Team is Calafiori, Robbo, Frempong, Njai, Bruno, Zolis, Mbumo, Shada, João Pedro, Haaland. Bench is confused about Frimpong and Shada. I think Shada is fine. It's Frimpong's the one that I don't know if he's a player I would go for. I don't know if Frimpong is the one I would default to for Liverpool. Frozo, nice to have you in the chat. Thank you for the lovely comment on the latest video as well. Appreciate all the support. Is there news on Brentford defense and Aye? Heard somewhere. Let me have a look. That's the good thing about having Twitter open. Brentford, yeah. Not that I think we have it just yet, Let me have a look. For Brentford, it's pretty much Sepp Vandenberg. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, Aya should be fine, right? Not there's nothing wrong with Aya. You're good. Frozone says, so glad we have football back. Exactly, man. Exactly. Thank you for that, Nick. Nick says everyone needs to like the stream. If you guys haven't, thanks for reminding me. If you guys haven't, please drop a like on the stream. We're trying to hit 100 likes. We're trying to hit 100 likes on the first stream of the season. Oh, I think I may have missed a super chat. All right. We got our first super chat of 26-27 season, and it's from Toby. Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Toby. He says Gross and Njai or Gomez and Keenan Dewsbury Hall. I'm gonna say Pascal Gross and Iliman Njai. I'm gonna say the first option. Thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate that a lot. Thoughts on Broby? I think Broby is fine. I think Broby is fine. I think Broby is a good option. Broby is a good option. It's only the only reason why I haven't gone for him is because of how long I need my team for. Again, as I said, like a lot of the answers to the questions that I'm going to give is pretty much um whoever you go for, it depends on your chip strategy, how long you need these players for. If it's just a 2 game week kind of a punt, Broby, first game week he'll play Ipswich, second game week Fulham, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Any longer though, then I'll be worried. Thoughts on Vissa down the line? I'm definitely looking at Vissa. I mean, I will monitor him. And game week 4 onwards, Newcastle start to go on a really, really good run. Game week 4 onwards. What is your plan for game week 3 when Haaland has Coventry? Free hit. The plan is to free hit. Oh, I should use the. Let me just try something out. Let me try something out. It's my chip strategy is bench boost 1, free hit 3, wildcard 7. Okay, let's give this a go. Ooh, nah. Figuring things out, as I told you. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. All right, we got it up. We got it up. Oh, but I realized it covers the players. Okay, let me try to fix that. Let me try to fix that. Bear with me, bear with me. We have 2 hours. We have 2 more hours to go. Mm, Okay. Yes, FPL console is getting an upgrade. Give me a moment. I apologize. We are literally figuring things out. Okay. All right. All right. I think we've managed to fix it a little bit. Managed to fix it a little bit. Let me just see if we can. Okay. Let's give it a go. All right. Thank you. We got it. We got it. We got it. All right. All right. Apologies for that. Okay. Let me get back to yes, Copium is in the chat. Copium is in the chat. Nick is in the chat. Can ask him any questions, of course, that you have. Nicholas, nice to have you in the chat. Hey, consult Njai plus Shada or Zoboslai plus Gomez. Njai plus Shada. Njai plus Shada. Dunk only fourth choice after Baskagli Vuskovic stroke. I do think we will still see him come in though. I think we'll still see him come in, right? Until we see otherwise. I mean, that's just my own guess. Do you think Ballard and Sunderland can have a clean sheet in game week 1? Great question. Let me put up the graphic from Rob T, as always. The trusted Rob T. The trusted Rob T. One moment. Yep. So there we go. Rob T's graphic. So honestly, the odds are I mean, I always use the odds, by the way. So Sunderland versus Ipswich is really, really close. I mean, projected goals wise, it's 1.32 for Ipswich and 1.34 for Sunderland. And clean sheets wise, it's also very close, right? 25%, 26%. Right. So the long and short of it is that it is close. It is very, very close. What's your thoughts? I mean, I think that's the thing with all these kind of 4.0 million defenders, right? Like, I can only get so excited about 4.0 million defenders. And for me, I guess when it comes to where you're using them for your game week 1 bench boost or your game week 2 bench boost. If you're on game week 2 bench boost, it's probably going to be one of the Coventry players. If it's game week 1, it's probably going to be, if you have a 4.0, it's probably going to be from Ipswich. So I think I just go for those kind of DEFCON players. Okay, I'm going to have to speed up a little bit. I'm going to have to speed up a little bit. I apologize because I'm very, very far behind on the chat. But we have a really long time. So for those of you who haven't had your questions answered, not to worry, right? Not to worry. I will get to them. Are you settled on no Haaland? Yes, I am. Yes, I am settled on no Haaland. Mikey Moore as a game week 1 punt for bench boost. I mean, he's okay. He's all right. I don't think he's the most exciting, but I think he's all right. Savino to join Spurs. Yeah, that's a here we go already. That's a here we go. Matthias Tell or Shada? I prefer Shada. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this name for sure. Muharemovic is worth the extra 0.5 or stick to Rodon. If you have the extra 0.5, I think you definitely should go for Muharemovic. Joe says, when heavy on midfield, Kinski, Verbruggen, Maguire, Gabriel, Aye, Hume, and Aina, Palmer, Bruno, Mbumo, Soboslai. Wow, that is very heavy in midfield. And then Jao Pedro, Albert Lewin, and Burobi. Planning bench boost 1, free hit 3. I think it's all right. I would free hit 3 and you already have Palmer. I think it's okay. I think this is a pretty decent team, right? Quite balanced as well. The only thing I would say then is you pretty much only have one Arsenal player against Coventry. The way I've set it up, I've tried my best to go for. The way I've set it up, I've tried my best to go for 3 Arsenal players now in game week 1. In game week 2, in game week 3, I will have 3 players against Coventry from Man City because I'm free hitting. And in game week 2, which is when Manchester United will play Ipswich, I will have 3 as well. So I've tried to kind of make sure that every week I kind of maximize the players that I have playing against the promoted sides. That's also the strategy behind bench boost 1, free hit 3, and wildcard 7. Okay, I'm gonna have to speed up a little bit. I apologize. Okay, do you think it's risky to bench boost in game week 1, considering we have no data whatsoever? If you are going for secure players, right? If you're going for players that you know are going to start, then I think it is fine. And you will be able to make your draft based on that. There's definitely some risk involved for sure. But it's whether whoever's bench boosting game week 1, right, feels that the risk to reward is enough. One of the positives is that you also don't have to worry about this chip in the future, like your bench boost. You pretty much can use your wild card and focus on having more money in your starting 11 rather than making sure that you leave money on the bench for your bench boost. And yeah, I mean, it just takes something off of your mind, and sometimes that helps in FPL, right? And I spoke about this a lot in the preseason videos as well. One of the main reasons also people wanted to bench boost early is because of the keeper situation. Last season, you had a 4.0 million Dubravka on your bench, ready to play anytime, right? He was playing for Burnley every single game week. Any week that you felt like you had a good bench and you wanted to bench boost, you could just do so. But this time round is different. We don't have that luxury of a 4.0 million keeper. And as a result, you have to have a 4.5 million keeper on your bench. And yeah, I mean, that already means more money on there. That's why people just want to quickly get get it out of the way. Right. So I also see the pros of keeping it for later on, where you have more information. And it's just a trade off, right? It's a trade off that I guess a lot of people are making right now, right? Whether you want to bench boost early or not. End of the day, we can only assess after both sides have bench boost. So whoever has utilized the bench boost later down the line, then we can assess and compare. Anthony says, got a couple of questions. Will 09 start? I've gone for Angular for a 5 million 1 week punt on a bench boost. Again, let me pull up the predicted lineups as always. And my guess is that, 09 probably will. But Sunderland have a lot of players coming back, right? I think in the press conference very, very recently, I think about an hour or so ago, Omar Alderete and also Nori Mukiele, both of them are back. Both of them are back fit. So pretty much it's going to be a case where I think Sunderland will be able to put out quite a decent squad or very close to their full strength. Let me just double check. Yeah, I no longer actually think that 09 will start, to be honest. Because if Alderete is fit, Alderete definitely starts. Is going without João Pedro okay? I have Isak, Calvert-Lewin, and Haaland instead. Should I captain Haaland or Bruno, planning to wildcard in game week 4 and get João Pedro then? So I'll put the information to you, and I guess you can decide. With João Pedro, you have someone who's played majority of the preseason, and he's been in really good form in preseason. And fitness wise, he is quite a hardy player. He's not the kind that gets injured easily. With Isak, firstly, I don't know if he's going to play 90 minutes every single week for the first few weeks as they are easing him in. And yeah, with Isak, I guess you know the quality of player that he is, right? But end of the day, he is still playing for a side that he actually hasn't played a lot of competitive matches for as well, right? So I do think that there will be some form of adjustment. And those who are actually playing or going with Isak from the start, I think you are also taking on a bit of a risk there, right? It's a slight risk, but minutes, of course. But I think overall, I think it should be fine. Captaincy wise, Haaland or Bruno? That's a separate question, right? Captaincy wise, when it comes to Haaland versus Bruno, I'll just say that it's not necessary that just because you have Haaland and Bruno that you must captain Haaland. I think there is a real consideration that you should give to Bruno Fernandes as well. Right, Haaland is, I guess, for game week 1, not as default a captain as we thought he would be. This is where the drink comes in. Right, this is where the drink comes in. For those of you guys who know. We still got quite a while to go, right? And it's been a while that I've streamed for so long. So bear with me. If you guys are enjoying the stream and also the new graphics that you're seeing and everything, please help us out and drop a like on the stream. That would be very much appreciated. Oh, and I guess I don't say this enough, but please help the channel out by subscribing as well. I should probably say that more, but I just don't know why I don't do it. Do I stick with Wirtz plus Shaw or Soberslide plus Maguire? I think I prefer Soberslide plus Maguire. Soberslai plus Maguire. Is this your final squad? Yes. I mean, barring any injuries, I'm keeping a lookout for the latest news that we see on Twitter, and if anything comes out, then if anything comes out that affects the fitness of my players, then I probably will change. But if not, I'm pretty sure this is where I'm gonna go. Joshua says Bruno has a tendency of having a slow start, as we've seen from the last 2 seasons. I mean, that is fair. That is fair. But I also put this to you, right? Like a lot of people say that Haaland's probably gonna start the season with a bang. I'll put this to you. In the past few seasons, he hasn't had to play a full like World Cup tournament, and this time Norway did go really, really far. So he's actually for the last few seasons had a pretty good preseason in terms of the build up towards the games, etc. That's one. And also now it's Enzo Maresca. It's Enzo Maresca and it's not Pep. So, you know, and I also say, right, that when I looked at the Community Shield, I mean, obviously I'm not going to read too much into it, right? Because that is not an accurate description, depiction of what's going to happen against Bournemouth, because Bournemouth is no Arsenal. And I do expect City to score. But correct me if I'm wrong. I think quite a number of the Man City players looked a little bit leggy, right? So that's just my own opinion. Make of it what you will. I guess I feel like you guys saw that as well. But a lot of people always say, and I tend to agree, like we should not read too much into the Community Shield, but that is what we saw, right? End of the day, I do think that Haaland will still do well, right? Over the next 6 game weeks that I won't have him. Actually, no, the 5 game weeks that I won't have him, because in game week 3 I'm free hitting. I think he will still score. I think he will still hurt me. My only I guess reason why I'm still choosing to go without Haaland is that I believe that with all the upgrades that I'm making in the various departments in my team, that overall my team will be able to score more. So that is the hope. That is the hope. And this is not no Haaland propaganda. Like for those of you guys who want to go with Haaland, by all means, right? By all means. Thoughts of changing Semenyo to Rodgers? I don't want to do that because then I'll be tripled up in Chelsea already. I want some time to decide whether I want Cole Palmer or Rodgers. Likely I want Cole Palmer because in game week 4 I want to captain Cole Palmer. But the thing with Palmer is there was a question asked to Xabi Alonso, I think a few days ago, asking whether we have a designated penalty taker, and he said, and he tried to, I guess, play it coy a little bit and say he doesn't know what's the situation last season and stuff, which I honestly do not believe is true. You obviously know who is the penalty taker last season, and it was Cole Palmer. But I don't think it's out of the question that João Pedro could take penalties, or even there's some form of a share of penalties, right? Something similar to the Arsenal situation where sometimes Odegaard takes it, sometimes Saka takes it, sometimes Gyökeres takes it. Now, obviously, if Gyökeres is on the pitch, he feels like first choice penalty taker. But I think for Chelsea, it could be a similar situation. And if João Pedro is on pens, then maybe I don't want to go for Cole Palmer. Maybe I go for Rodgers. So long and short of it is I want to wait and see. So I don't think I will want to get Rodgers in so early. Akash says, totally believe Konsa will start in game week 2. Should I get him? Already have Zolis, Gabriel, and Calafiori. I don't actually think that he will start in game week 2. That's my opinion. I think it will take him a little bit more time. And yeah, I think Mosquera would still be starting. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I have too much to say about that. I think Konsa for me only becomes a real option after we've seen him start maybe 2 to 3 games consistently. And even then, like, by then, I would assume Champions League comes around and we would need to kind of play a bit of a guessing game. Okay, apologies. I will need to use the washroom. All right. We're good. That's the thing with the long streams. That's the thing with the long streams. We need a toilet break. Apologies. Okay, let's get back to the questions. By the way, if at some point we should do a rate my team, I let me know if you guys want that. We could do it over on Twitter or X. What do you think of Xhaka? 5.5 instead of Enzo Lefebvre. I think Enzo Lefebvre is for me better and worth the extra money because he's on pens. Because he's on pens. Henry says, if you have two Arsenal defense and one Arsenal attack, is it good? I'm on that. I think any form of triple up is good, right? So long as it's not, okay, I should caveat, so long as it's not two attackers, because I don't actually think, okay, unless it's Odegaard plus Zolis, but even then it's like, then you would be, I even then I wouldn't do it. So yeah, I think two defense, one attack, good enough from Arsenal. I've seen a lot more people be on triple defense for obvious reasons. Okay, Andrew says, wow, it's a long message covering me. Kinski, Petrovic, Van Heck, Calafiori, Nico Williams, Thomas, Muhurmovic, Hinshelwood, Mbumo, Semenyo, Zolis, Verts, Pedro, Broby, Haaland, bench boost 2, no planned wildcard, 1 million left for upgrades. What would I do with the 1 mil in your case? Let me have a think. What I would do with the extra 1 mil. I'll probably upgrade Van Heck, I think. I'll probably upgrade Van Heck. Yeah, I mean, to any of those kind of 6.5 millions, I think I'll probably spend it in defense. That's the short version of the answer. I don't think I would leave that 1 mil right in your bank. I think I would make use of it. For the first 5 game weeks, which team's defense would you like? Leeds, Forest, or Brentford? First 5 game weeks, assuming no chips in play. I want to say Leeds. And I would say Muharremavic is the one that I prefer. What do you think of Palestra as an option? I think he's great. If I had the extra 0.5, I might go for him. The only concern for me is if he does not, if his minutes are a risk. That's the only concern. But upside wise, I mean, I saw in preseason the positions he was taking up. Superb. At some point, I'm sure he will be an option, right? If Xabi Alonso plays in any way the same way that he did at Leverkusen, then I think he will be an insane asset to have. Which four is better? Raya, Virgil, Maguire, Palmer, or Lemons, Colwell, Ben Heck, and Bruno Fernandes? That is I see. I'll probably go for the second option, but I don't think Van Heck would be in there for me. I don't think Van Heck is a defender I would go for. Spurs specifically, like if you're not going for Kinski, which I would understand why people would go there because he's a cheap 4.5 million keeper. But aside from that, the Spurs fixtures are actually not super easy to keep clean sheets for. For the first 5 game weeks, which team's defense? Sorry, I've answered this one. Nick's in the chat is just done with dinner, heading back home. Finally tuning in. What did I miss? Pretty much we've been chatting FPL pretty much. Chatting FPL, talking about the team, which has looked quite different. From our pod for sure. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for Nick, drop it in the chat. I'm sure he'd be willing to answer. If you had to choose one, Shada or Njai? If I had to choose one, I would go Shada. And I think a lot of people would say Njai because he is basically, with Njai you get penalties. But I would say that there is this like small little nagging thing around Njai, which is that there's some small rumors that he might still end up leaving Everton. Like, yes, he did reject Saudi, but there is some murmurings of like some top sides in the Premier League maybe wanting to still go for Njai. And end of the day, the transfer window is still not closed until after game week 2. So that's my only concern, and that's really why I would say Shada over Njai. If we know for sure that Njai is not leaving, or if the transfer window was shut, right, even before the Game Week 1 deadline, I think I probably would say Njai over Shada then. Top 3 defenders for 3 game weeks. It's tricky because if you're talking about the first 3 game weeks, it may not be an Arsenal defender because in Game Week 3 they play Chelsea. Game Week 3 they play Chelsea. Lucas says tossing up on Palmer, Njai, Thiago, or Semenyo, Shada, and Isak. Feel like need some City coverage, but I don't know. No Haaland draft, bench boost 1, free hit 3. Which 3 is better in general? I would say Semenyo, Shada, and Isak. Let me have a think. This is a real toss up. This is a real toss up. If I had to choose one, okay, if I had to choose one, maybe I change my mind. Maybe I go Palmer, Njai, and Thiago. It's really close though, this one. Aniket says Rodon or Muharremavic. I would say Muharremavic is worth the extra money. 1 mil is planned mainly if Semenyo or Verts are duds. Fair enough. O'Reilly starts. I think O'Reilly starts for Game Week 1. Hal says, love the stream. Thank you very much. Can you rate my team? I have Kinski, Rushworth, Shaw, Calafiori, Hume, Van Uwick, and Thomas. This looks like a bench boost 2 team already. Bruno, Mbumo, Semenyo, Zolis, and Slater. Calvert-Lewin, Pedro, and Haaland. I think this is fine. This is fine. My only thing with this team is that, as with most bench boost 2 teams, you're banking on that Coventry versus Hull fixture. But even here, you have Slater, and Slater against, playing against the Coventry guys that you have on the bench. So that's my only comment here. But aside from that, I do like a lot of the options that you've gone for. Raya, Gabriel, Aina, Hume, Zolis, Soboslai, Bruno, Njai, Haaland, Broby, Pedro. I think it's okay. I think Aina is maybe not the... Aina is probably not the one that I would go for at 4.5. I think you could even squeeze in a Luke Shaw in there. Ballard and Shaw, or Maguire and Hume. Maguire and Hume. Maguire and Hume. Let me angle the camera down a little bit. I've answered this one. Muharemovic, Maguire, Ayer, or Rodon, Van Dijk, and Shaw. I would say the first 3. Muharemovic, Maguire, and Ayer. Nick says, notice the changes. What's the overall goal this season? I want to say top 50k. I'd be happy, but for me, top 10k would be insane. If you could get anywhere close to that, that would be insane. Have you planned out an explanation for when Haaland hauls in Game Week 1? This is a fantastic question. I'm sure most of that. I'm already thinking, what am I going to say? I mean, I was telling Nick on the podcast a couple days ago on Tuesday, that probably once Haaland bangs in a few goals, just be thinking, what have I done? And I'll probably still be thinking that, right? But at the end of the day, this is it's not really an experiment. I think it's a calculated gamble that I'm taking over 6 game weeks. So I have to see it through. But I've caveat many times to say that if for some reason, for example, if injuries pile up, etc., that forces me to wildcard earlier, I'm not ruling it out. So even if my chip strategy is bench boost 1, free hit 3, wildcard 7, I'm not ruling out a wild card. If bench boost 2, should I get Zolis, Hume, Schade / Ballard? Schade and Ballard is what I would go for. Henry says Cash or Robinson or Mikalenko. I prefer Mikalenko out of those. Thiago Semenyo plus 1.5 or Bruno, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Bruno, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I go there. Yes, but we keep this pick quiet. Not Nepo. The thing with a lot of Chelsea picks, there are a lot of people aren't going for, is mainly because of the Arsenal fixture in Game Week 3 that we want to avoid at least. But for me, I'm free hitting, so I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Sam says, hiya, Njai or Lafay, in your opinion? First 2 game weeks, I mean, they both offer pretty similar things in that they are quite nailed for their teams, and both are on pens. I would say fixtures-wise, I marginally prefer the Sunderland fixtures for the first 2, because you're only asking for the first 2. So, yeah, I would go Lafay if it's only the first 2. Colwell or Muharemovic. This one, again, depends on your strategy. If, like me, you're free hitting in Game Week 3, I do like Colwell. Nick says, let's Let's go. Let's get into the top 10K. Hopefully. Is Colwell nailed on? In the opinion of a Chelsea fan, I think that Colwell is our most nailed centre back. Considering average performance from City against Arsenal, do you still think players like Semenyo, Shirky will do one? Haaland is my captain, by the way. The thing with me going for Semenyo here is mainly because I want some City players. I think I always say cover, but technically I do feel like City will score goals, and I want a piece of that, and that is Semenyo. Maybe I shouldn't say cover the Man City attack, but in essence, I do think as a pick himself, Semenyo would do well for the first 6 game weeks, which is when I would have him. Would you prefer to have a great start or slow build in terms of points? First few game weeks points don't seem to be an early indicator of where you can finish. Fun fact, I saw a tweet that the first in FPL last season, so the winner of FPL last season, finished game week 1 8.9 in the world. 8.9 million in the world. That is a fun fact. So you're absolutely right. The first few game weeks especially does not give you an indicator of where you can finish. But if you ask me, I'd love to have a great start. I mean, early doors, get the points, get up there in terms of ranks. I hope so, and then we build from there. It's always a better feeling when you're playing FPL and you're not exactly chasing too much. I've had seasons where I've had to chase a lot, and it's not super enjoyable. So yeah, I would love to have a good start. So nice to have you in the chat. Loving the stream. Missed watching your content. Prem is finally back. Nostradamus texted, you're saying Manchester United will win the season. No surprise that this is coming from a Manchester United fan. So fair enough. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, FPL is back, man. Boomo captain thoughts. I'll be frank with you, Shane. I had that thought cross my mind as well. I am very tempted to do it. And I'll also let you in on a bit of a secret. I actually switched it to Mbumo maybe 2 hours before the stream. And then I switched it back. I do think that Mbumo will start in the number 9 role, and I think he's primed to get returns. But I also think someone like Bruno, with the number of chances he creates, he's very good for bonus. And even if he gets 1 assist, I think that he would get, maybe 2 or even 3 bonus potentially. And that could overall add up to, as if Mbumo gets a goal. So to me, I think I look at the whole package. Like, I've been forced to also look at the whole package, and I see that penalties is still with Bruno. And I mean, even though his record has been really poor, Bruno just has the whole package. And as a captain, then I wouldn't deviate from that. And that's why I've put it back onto Bruno. Who would you captain in game week 5? This is my dilemma with no Haaland. This is a great question because I've had a look in the next few game weeks. This is a fantastic question, Jacob. And honestly speaking, in game week 5, I'm fully aware that Haaland will be the best captain against Sunderland. He plays them at home. Fully aware of that, but I know there are other picks as well. If I pull up the fixtures for game week 5. I'm just going to read off of it. I'm not going to put it on screen. But in game week 5, aside from Haaland against Sunderland, you also have Manchester United against Fulham. So that's Bruno Fernandes there already. 1 captain option for you. Chelsea has Brentford away, so I guess by then I would have Cole Palmer, but I think that would be too tough a fixture for me to be comfortable to captain Cole Palmer. And this is an outside shout, okay? This is an outside shout, but I did have a think about whether by then, because I have Igor Jesus in my team, and that's the long-term planning, right? Igor Jesus in game week 5 against Coventry City. And that's also one of the reasons why I've decided early doors to go with Igor Jesus. So I'm not ruling it out. It's an outside shout. But yeah, I think Bruno, Igor Jesus, even Cole Palmer would be in the team. So I'll leave it till then to decide. But yeah, those are the ones that I'm looking at aside from Haaland. Raya, Maguire, Palmer, Schade, or Lemons, Gabriel. I assume that's Gabriel, Soboslai, and Zolis. Um, I'm gonna go with the second option. I'm gonna go Lemons, Gabriel, Soboslai, and Zolis. Excuse me. Nick says Mbumo cap is interesting. Don't hate it. Do think he might get pulled if we're tied, God forbid, behind. I mean, yeah, I guess that's the other thing, right? That Bruno will never be subbed off, and Mbumo, there's a chance for sure. Sep Gold says, great to see you again, Leon. Thank you, Sep. It's good to be back. It's good to see you in the chat as well. What do you think of these four? Foden, Bruno, Rogers, and Zolis. Is Foden worth the risk over Zoboslai? Okay, I'll take this off as well because I realized that that would not allow you to see the bench players. So I won't display the question for too long. But for the four, Foden, Bruno, Rogers, Zolis. Foden worth the risk over Zoboslai. I wouldn't go for Foden early doors. That is the long and short of it. Why not Sanchez and Shaw in place of Lemons and Colwell? This is a great point as well. I did consider it, but for me, what made me go for Lemons and Colwell is that in those weeks where I will have, looking at the defensive rotations, in those weeks where Manchester United plays Man City in game week 4, I can just bench Lemons and start Verbruggen, who has Coventry. But I can't do the same for Shaw or Maguire if I was having them in my team, because for game week 4, my players on the bench or the defensive players on my bench, they don't have as good fixtures, right? Like Mikalenko and O'Shea. The thing with Colwell is that in game week 4, he has Hull. So that's mainly why I decided to go for Lemons and Colwell. Like the rotation is better. FPL Nathan is in the chat. Good to have you. I mean, nice to see all of you again. Right, very very nice to see all of you. It's been a while. It's been a while. And what's for dinner tonight? FPL Nathan. I know all the streams that I've had, you always speak about food. Always speak about sushi, chicken rice, and all that stuff. So you know your food. You know your Singaporean food. What's for dinner tonight? What did I have? I just had some avocado and toast, which is boring, but yeah, I had avocado and toast. Change Calvert-Lewin to Igor Jesus. What were the end thoughts here? Firstly, I wanted on the bench someone who was playing at home, someone who, for this particular game week 1 fixture that I'm bench boosting, has a better fixture, and playing Leeds at home is better for Igor Jesus. The predicted goals that Nottingham Forest are expected to score is higher than that of Leeds. So that's one. Excuse me. And then in game week 5, Igor Jesus has Coventry. All right. So it's mainly it. Like I look at my starting maybe 7 attackers, right? 5 midfielders and 2 forwards. And I also don't need a Calvert-Lewin there because Calvert-Lewin can be played every week and I won't feel so comfortable benching him. But someone like Igor Jesus, where the fixtures aren't that good from game week 2 to game week 3, I can just bench him. And then game week 4 comes around, he has Aston Villa, I can play him. Game week 5 comes around, he has Coventry, I can play him. So that's mainly it. I really look at rotations though. So with this team, I really had a look at every week, how the squad is going to look like, the players that I'm going to field, etc. Verbruggen, Kinski, Shaw, Calafiori, Hume, Colwell, Hermovic, Zolis, and Gamoa is interesting. Verts, Bruno, Pascal Gross, João Pedro, Haaland, Broby. This does look like it does look like a bench boost team, actually. Yeah. This looks like a bench boost team. And I think it's great. But Ngamoa is just, for me, really a 1 week punt. So if this is where you've decided to go, I think it's fine. Igor Jesus versus Calvert-Lewin. I'll say this one is going to be the answer I've given a lot this stream, which is that which weeks do you need to use this player? Because especially for my case, if you look at it, the truth is that Igor Jesus or Calvert-Lewin, they are the 8th attacker. Because I've got no Haaland, the 8th attacker is particularly strong. So it's really those weeks that you need to use them that you have to identify. And for me, Igor Jesus is, for me, bench boost 1, I would use him. Game week 4, game week 5 is when I would use him as well. So I've chosen to go for him. Right? But for you, if you need someone who plays every single week, then Calvert-Lewin is the one. Rinaldi says, do you think a third spot attacker, 4.5, viable to start this season? Unfortunately, no. There are a few, like 4.5 million spots. I think from Ipswich, if I'm not wrong, Igeli, but I don't know how long that will last as well. And I don't really like the thing about these 4.5 million spots is that a lot of people would just end up going for them, these dead spots. And then when they wildcard, then they drop in ownership by so much. And then, yeah, I mean, pretty much you would lose value on them. So I don't really like the idea of having a dead spot. And actually, even with a Haaland draft, like I've seen Haaland drafts that don't really necessarily need to have a dead spot. This is, man, this is like the third or fourth time that I've seen this. I don't know, to be honest. Like, honestly, if Haaland hauls, what should I say? I mean, okay, maybe I put it to you guys. Like, for those of you without Haaland in the chat, if Haaland does very well, hauls in game week 1, what would you say for those of you who don't have Haaland? For me, I'd say I probably will say I'll wait until my whole strategy has played out, which is like maybe game week 5, game week 6, and then I can start to assess already whether overall it's been a good choice or not. I probably wouldn't base it on one game week, but I know the comments will come in. I know the comments will come in once I post the video. I am ready for that. I mean, that is I'll say the joy of being a content creator. I know you guys will be rooting for me. Is it really worth to put a 4.5 million goalkeeper for a bench boost? So hard to take that 0.5 back without using the wildcard. I will be firstly using this keeper quite a bit. In game week 3, game week 4, I can use this keeper. Actually, no, game week 3, I'll be free hitting. So game week 4, when he has Coventry, I'll be playing for Bruggen. Game week 5 and 6, I think 6, I would use him as well. So pretty much, there will be rotation, but after that, I will be wildcarding. So I'll be taking the money back. There's about 80 of you guys watching right now. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys are raring to go for game week 1. If you are new to the channel, can you please help me out and subscribe to the channel? It is completely free, and it only takes a second, right? And it helps the channel a lot. So please do help me out, and also drop a like while you're at it. That would be lovely. Pascal Groth, Zolis, or Soboslai and Gomez? Probably Gross and Zolis. Thoughts of Morgan Gibbs White over Semenyo? Just subscribe. Thank you for subscribing, Aniket. I appreciate that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do Gibbs White over Semenyo. I think the Forest fixtures aren't actually that good. After game week 1, in 2 and 3, it's pretty tricky. Would you rather Semenyo, Rogers, Zolis, Morgan Gibbs White, or maybe Odegaard in situations with and without Haaland and or Bruno Fernandes? Wow. I definitely wouldn't go Morgan Gibbs White. And with Odegaard and Zolis, I prefer Zolis. Semenyo for me out of all these three. And then Zolis, and then Odegaard, then Rogers, then Gibbs White. That's the order I would have them. And with or without Bruno Fernandes, Haaland and or Bruno Fernandes. If you don't have Haaland, the truth is that I think you can go for a very heavy midfield, right? So that's quite an open-ended question. For sure, 100%. We should get FPL Nathan on at some point, I think. Thoughts on a potential bench boost game week 18? I've seen, it's too early to call. That's what I'll say. But I have looked at a couple of other windows down the line for a couple of members who have said that, you know, they are bench boosting later on instead. I've had a look. It works out, right? The only thing with that is that you need to wildcard before that and have money on your bench. So pros and cons, right? Pros and cons. Should I wait until the international break for Saliba? Saliba is not an option. So, I mean, I don't even think after the international break he'll be back. He'll be out for quite a while. Excuse me. Triple captain Carl Rushworth. You got to be joking. Got to be joking. Okay, I'm gonna have to put timeout. Okay, please do not spam the chat. I would appreciate that. Please do not spam the chat. Is Gabriel Jesus a good cheap option? I think you have to wait until, you know, wherever he goes. Which better midfielder with a price of 6.5 million? Okay, I will rephrase this question, I guess. 6.5 best midfielder. I want to go Zolis. 4.0 million defender, I would say one of the Ipswich guys if you're looking at this week. Midfielder, 6 million. I'd say either Shada or Njai. I would go Shada over Njai. 4.5 million defender. There's a lot. Depending on the time frame, I like the look of Aye. I like the look of Hume as well for the first 2 game weeks. For myself, I've gone for Mikalenko, but that's with a longer term view. Starting Tarkowski, but Brandtweit is a good alternative at 0.5 cheaper. For what it's worth, I think both will start, right? Tarkowski and Brandtweit. But the only thing with Brandtweit for me is just his injury record. Like, it's not good. So I don't think it's impossible. I mean, I hope that he does not get injured, but he's more prone to being injured. So you're probably better off paying the extra 0.5 to get Tarkowski. Which Arsenal trio? Gabriel, Calafiori, Zolis, or Raya, Gabriel, and Zolis? I'm gonna back mine. I'm gonna back Calafiori, Gabriel, and Zolis. But actually, if you have more money, because I can't find the 0.5, right? If you have more money, I would go Calafiori up to Raya, which is 5.5 versus 6 million. If I had more money, I'd probably do that. G-Tan says, hi Leon, good to see you back on the Deadline stream again. Thank you very much. It's good to be back. Thank you for tuning in. It's been great, man. It's been great. I've really enjoyed this stream so far. And we haven't done such a long deadline stream for a really long time. So I appreciate all of you guys for coming down. There's already 80 of you guys here, so insane. It's insane. Insane. I like the strategy. It seems exciting, but might be a bit of an overkill to use free hit and wildcard within the first 5 to 6 game weeks. What do you think? I mean, I will have to manage then. I will have to manage. But in my opinion, I feel like using free hit in game week 3 allows me to attack the first few game weeks better and also delay the wild card a little bit longer. I'm not super keen on wild carding so early. Wild carding later just gives me more info, right? And I'm happy with that if I'm wild carding in game week 7. And free hitting in game week 3, I mean, to be fair, the first 19 game weeks, I don't foresee blanks. That's the first thing. And if there are weeks where a free hit would look good, right, then I would just have to factor that into my own planning. Like I have to use free transfers or something. Too much of a differential to Captain Lemons, I would say for sure. I wouldn't do that. Do you think... Sorry, I missed Jacob's one. Haaland, Sangare, Ballard, or Bruno, Gabriel, Calvert-Lewin. Asking me to choose between Haaland and no Haaland for you, this is tough. Have to see the rest of your team and also your strategy. Do you think the lab will outscore Haaland now that Pep's gone? This has got to be... You're probably rubbing it in for me, right? I know I don't have Haaland. And I'm probably going to get it for it. Yeah, I mean Nick is right. I have to get ready for the hackles. Hume as an FPL pick, I don't mind it. I mean, I still think he starts on the wing. Short term is okay. Short term for me is still okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put Aditya in timeout. Please be nice, everyone. Please be nice. Wonder why no one is talking about Shirky. Now that Sabino is gone, Doku is injured, won't his minutes be more certain? I think so. I mean, I think you're right. I think Shirky will start on the right, Semenyo on the left. But how long? I would never say that he is nailed. That's one. Minutes will be better, fair enough. But for how long? For how long? Once these players come back, what happens? Once Doku comes back. Thoughts on game week 1 bench boost? Lemons, Verbruggen, Colwell, Calafiori, Rodon. It looks like a pretty strong team. This is quite a good Haaland draft. I like it. I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. I think it's quite good. Suggest a 4.5 million defender who's nailed and would get a clean sheet in game week 1. If I could tell the future, my friend. If I could tell the future. But my favorite one, 4.5 million for game week 1. Okay, I'd say Hume. The best 4 million defender for game week 1, it'd be either O'Shea or Issa Diop. Chris Wood, Evan Nielsen. Thoughts on Palmer? I wouldn't go anywhere near Chris Wood, Evan Nielsen. Palmer, I think, fair enough. I mean, I don't mind Palmer. I'm just not starting the season with Palmer. Football app says FPL Andy stream starting. Oh, I'll take this as a compliment, though. I'll take this as a compliment. Thank you very much. Which I do not think so, though. There's lots of other really good content creators. But yeah, thank you very much. Why you play Zolis in Game Week 2? Firstly, I will be playing Zolis in Game Week 2. Why would I play him? Is because mainly, Igor Jesus does not have a good fixture then. He has Liverpool, so I will be benching him. Do you have plans for the next round? Yeah, I'll be doing a transfer plans video. I'll be doing a transfer plans video for the next game week, as always. So keep a lookout for that. What made you go Thiago over Isak? I'm debating the move, have Isak right now. The thing for me with Isak is that I know he will start. My only concern is how many minutes he's going to get. With Thiago, I know 100% he's going to get 90 minutes. He's going to start. He's on pens, etc. We all know what we get with Thiago. But with Isak, he is coming back from injury. Like this, he hasn't actually played lots of competitive games with Liverpool, and the Liverpool squad has also seen quite a few changes in the attack. Thiago-wise, it's the same few that he's interacting with for the last season, right? It's Dango Ouattara, it's Kevin Schade. Maybe Jadon Anthony comes in, right? Either on the left or the right. He can play both. But either way, that is a structured team, an attack that has been functioning really well for a really long time. And last season, they did so well, right? So you know what you get with both sides. What you get with Thiago and what you're maybe risking a little bit with Isak. So that's for me the main concerns. If Semenyo has a good game week, Haaland will not be involved. I think it's actually very possible that both do well. I actually think it's possible both do well. Best 5.0 million midfielder, I would say Gomez. LMGO says need a 4.5 million defender, but don't really want to double up on Leeds or Sunderland. And if I get Ayer, I have a clash with Kinski. 4.5 million defender, don't want to double up on Leeds or Sunderland. Any interest in my boy Mikalenko? Any interest there? I mean, I want to say Luke Shaw, but I also don't think Luke Shaw is a very exciting pick. Like maybe fixtures wise is okay. Do you think Glasner could use Gibbs White similar to how he did with Eze? I mean, if so, that would be insane, right? That would be insane. Yeah, I mean, Gibbs White for me is just too expensive, I think. It's too expensive. Okay, let me quickly have a look. Anything to be done to make it 10 out of 10 instead 9 out of 10? Can I have a look at the team again? Araujo or Jake? I think right now it's too risky to go for either. Do you prefer when FPL used to have one for the whole season, chips wise? Very interesting comment. I think no. Hot take. I think no, because I like the fact that there's so many different strategies now. When there's only one set of chips, people tend to just keep it to the end, and always by the time you keep it to the end, the blanks and doubles come. There's always some meta that develops, like this is the best week to free hit, best week to wildcard, best week to yada yada yada. It just becomes very robotic. So I feel like with two sets of chips, it opens up the game, at least for the first 19 game weeks. If the second half of the season, the bench boost, free hit, and wildcard start to become very robotic again. I understand it because there's blanks and doubles, but for the first half of the season, I think this is where you see varying strategies, and I've just decided to jump on one. I've just decided to find one that I like and back it and jump on it. Nick says, which games are you planning to watch for Game Week 1? Any that interest you from an FPL info gathering standpoint? I definitely want to see. I mean, I would probably watch quite a few. I catch the Arsenal game. I probably watch the Manchester United game as well. I want to watch Brentford versus Spurs as well. But I think for me, the game that I want to pay the most attention to is the Manchester City game, because I want to see. For me, the thing with Haaland is that I need to assess firstly how's the Manchester City team doing, because they're coming off a 3-0 loss in the Community Shield. I want to see how they respond. I want to see how Maresca uses Semenyo and maybe Shirky for that matter, given that Doku and Savinho are injured. Sorry, Savinho is out and Doku transferring out and Doku is injured. That how these players on the wings feed into Haaland, and that would give me an assessment of whether Semenyo is a player that I would want longer term also, because I'm not ruling out that if Semenyo is just looking very wide, that I may transfer him out. I want to keep my options open, and so for me, the City game is where I'm going to pay the most attention to. Rogers, Zoboslai, Ballard, or Verts, Virgil, and Sangari. I would say just about the first one. Just about the first one. Jitan says, how likely do you think Konsa's price will go up soon? The moment he starts his first Arsenal game, starts, like not just comes on, like starts the Arsenal game, trust me, people will start thinking about, is it time to bring Konsa in, etc. Like, that's when it'll start. Why the Igor switch? I've actually always been on Igor. Sorry. I thought you meant Thiago. I've been on Igor Jesus instead of Calvert-Lewin, mainly because of Zolis. Because I've gotten Zolis instead of Kevin Schade, then I will want to play Zolis. Not like Schade, where most weeks, if he's the 8th attacker and I want to bench him, I'd be comfortable. I'm not very comfortable benching Zolis. I bring Zolis in, I want to start him. So then I look at the weeks where this 8th attacker, which is Igor Jesus, would need to play. And game week 1 is the week. Game week 4, 5 is also the week. And I like Igor Jesus' fixtures over 1, 4, and 5 compared to Calvert-Lewin. Why not Chris Wood when he's expected to start and he's a huge differential? Chris Wood is not actually expected to start. Not actually expected to start. Do you plan to free hit in game week 3 or wildcard 3? It's at the banner down below. Free hit 3, wildcard 7. Kadioglu or Mikalenko? I prefer Mikalenko. Great channel, just subscribe. Thank you very much. Is Dubravka second to Kinski now, and is Hughes likely to start for Palace? For sure, right? Kinski is first choice. Hughes likely to start for Palace. I think it'll still be Henderson. I think Henderson is back in training already. Why O'Shea over Diop or Davis? I want to go for DEFCON pretty much, and O'Shea's DEFCON is pretty good. Bench boost active or not? Bench boost is active. Bench boost is active. Okay. Caught up to the questions. Man, I miss live streaming, man. I have to say, definitely miss it. Thank you to all of you, right, for tuning in. I really appreciate that. Let me just make sure everything is all right. I actually want to put a poll, right? So let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Okay. Are you Haaland? Are you going with Haaland or no Haaland draft? I should have definitely put this up early on. Yeah? Okay. 78 of you guys in the chat. Please drop a vote. Drop a vote. Let's have a look. Let me know. Let me know how wrong have I got it. Pretty much. Let me know how wrong I've got it. Lemons, Raya Gomez, or Raya, Aya, and Mbumo. Raya, Aya, and Mbumo, the second one. Don't you think going with no Haaland Palmer will be an option because he maybe will not be a differential in game week 4? Yes, 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 yes. I mean, I will get Palmer in game week 4. I will get Palmer in game week 4. Maybe we can target Villa for the first few matches. Their squad seems thin as paper. Actually, in preseason, they've been pretty okay, though. That's my own opinion, but I think they've been okay. Njai or Jao Pedro? Definitely Jao Pedro. Definitely. Dewsbury Hall, good differential. I prefer Njai to Dewsbury Hall. Ashton, nice to have you in the chat. Nice to have you in the chat. Did you have Isak in your original draft? No, I did not. Why did I take him out? I did not take him out. Thinking Isak could be a cheaper version of Haaland. For me, it's just the minutes. It's just a minutes thing. Like, I'm not comfortable that. I mean, I don't think that Isak's going to play 90 minutes. So it's actually quite split. I don't know whether it's because you guys are watching my channel, but it's actually quite split. 58% have Haaland and 42 don't have, which I was surprised actually. Lyric Notes Daily says, join your goal group. Wouldn't allow me to join with Telegram. I will reach out to you. I've noted that. I'll reach out to you right after the stream. Thank you very much for joining as a gold member. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be with you in a bit. Really want to go no Haaland. Afraid to be 7 million or so. Where does that put me? Where does that put me? Chadi says Raya, Verbruggen, Ballard, Calafiori, Colwell, Nico Williams, Shaw, Bruno Fernandes, and Bumo, Zolis, Lafay. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good team. It's a pretty good team. Quite template, I guess, but good enough. It's quite good. For Chelsea players, huge advantage, or should I remove? I hope you are free hitting in game week 3 if you have 4 Chelsea players. Rarely misses during the first few games. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Haaland, right? A lot of people are saying he's going to hit the ground off running. Yes, I have created a poll. Nick says accidentally talked a friend into no Haaland a few hours ago. Amazing stuff. Yes, I'll keep a lookout for that. Thanks for dropping me a note on Instagram. Yeah, I mean, for those of you guys who are interested, just like in the chat, lyrics notes daily 4540. If you're interested to become a member, there is a link below for you to become a YouTube member, and that will give you access to the Gold members group chat as well. So it's just something for those of you guys who want to support the channel in another way. But thank you all, right, for all the support. I appreciate it so much. Thoughts on Bench Boost 1? Raya, Lemons, Calafiori, White, Darlow, Shaw, O'Reilly, Anderson, Ayari, Njai, Dewsbury Hall, Gibbs, White, Haaland. Firstly, the keeper's quite expensive, I realized. Darlow for me, I'm not so sure. Anderson, Ayari, Njai. I think the midfield, there are a couple of players I probably wouldn't have, right? Like Ayari, I wouldn't have. Gibbs White, for me, again, not someone I would go for, but I think if you think he does well against Leeds, it's fair enough. Fair enough. That's my rough thoughts. Kevin says, what's your opinion on Mosquera and White? And when does Konza become an option? Konza, for me, only becomes an option when he starts maybe 2 to 3 games consistently. Thoughts on Mosquera and White is avoid. Pretty much it. Like, maybe if I had to choose between one, I would say Ben White is the one I would go for to start the season. But even then, like once Timber is back in training, he's not back in training yet, but once he's back in training, Ben White becomes a bit of a risk. Not only that, Konza can play right back as well. So Konza actually puts both Mosquera and Ben White at risk. Are you considering different alternatives to Colwell / Mikalenko? Everton squad is a bit weak for game week 1. Colwell might be a minute's risk by game week 4. Will he be a minute's risk? I don't actually think so. Mikalenko, for me, the Everton squad is weak, but against Crystal Palace, I'll take my chances. And by the time Garner comes back, that's when game week 5, game week 6, they have Ipswich. And game week 6, let me have a look. Everton are playing Fulham. Right, so those weeks, I wouldn't mind them at all. Yes, Henry is reminding me. Please drop a like on the stream and please subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of content coming for the 2026-27 season, as there has been already on the channel. And yeah, it goes a long way in subscribing and helping to watch the videos. Thank you very much. To start the season, do you prefer template teams to keep pace with leading the pack or making sure you have some differentials to pull ahead early? I would say generally I'm actually rather template, unfortunately. I start the season most of the time rather template, but I think this season genuinely there is a reason for me to like the strategy that I'm on, and I'm quite convinced by it, and that's why I've gone for it. But if not, I also like to, even if I'm on a template team, I like to have 1 or 2 differentials just to spice things up a little bit. Lafay or Shada? I prefer Shada. If it's for game week 1 only though, then probably Lefay. And Jai and Jao Pedro. It has to be Jao Pedro. This one. It has to be Jao Pedro. Rinaldi says Gabriel, Bruno, and Haaland team might work. No, rest of the mids are Zolis, Jai Shada, and then the bench is thin though. Then the bench is thin. Why Mikalenko and not Aya, says Ashton. Mikalenko is mainly because he's a longer term play for me. My plan is to wildcard in game week 7, and Mikalenko is going to take me through that because now on the bench boost, he has Crystal Palace. Game week 5, game week 6, good fixtures for him. Game week 5, he will play Ipswich. Game week 6, he has Hull. Yeah, 5 and 6. 5 and 6, great fixtures. Excuse me. Just checking if there's any team news that I should inform you guys of. Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary that needs highlighting. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, apologies for that. Why not Wissa? Newcastle have seen lots of changes. Lots of changes. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, we have half an hour left to go, I think. Half an hour left to go. If you guys have any questions, drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. What do you think about bench boost with Hume, De Kuiper, and Morgan Gibbs-White? I think for this game week only, those players that you mentioned, they're okay. But like for me, bench boost, yes, you're using it this week. Longer term, do you want Morgan Gibbs-White? In game week 2 and game week 3, tough fixtures for Forest. The Kuiper also a little bit of a minutes risk. So, I mean, not necessarily just because you are bench boosting in game week 1 that you go all out. You still need to carry this team, right, for the next few weeks. Ashton says 2 more alternatives to Mikalenko for stress testing. Aina, Kadioglu. Kadioglu, I already have Verbruggen. I don't really want to double Brighton defense against Villa. And then Aina against Leeds. I mean, it's fair enough, but Aina actually runs into tough fixtures for 2 and 3. Actually, I could have Aina in game week 5 against Coventry. I could consider that. That is a fair shout, Aina. That is a fair shout. And that would actually mean that I back fully against Calvert-Lewin, which might be a bit risky. I've already gone Igor Jesus instead of Calvert-Lewin. Yeah. Uh, 2 mil in the bank. 2 mil in the bank. Trafford, Verbruggen, Vuskovic, Maguire, Calafiori. I do see a few risky players there. I wouldn't have Vuskovic right from the get-go. Assuming you're not starting him and you're playing Maguire, Calafiori, and Muharamovic, I guess that's fine. I will be wary of Vuskovic for first game week. I just don't know which of him and Boskagli is going to be benched for Dunk coming in. Colwell or Ballard or Muharamovic or Vuskovic or Nico Williams. This is pretty much asking me to rank, I guess. I would say out of all those, it really depends again, like your time horizon. But I'll go Ballard first, assuming you're going for 2 game weeks. Then I would go Ballard, then Muharamovic, and then Colwell, then Nico Williams, then Vuskovic. I'll copy your team and follow you until the end. What I will say is at your own risk. Like, I have decided to go on this strategy after quite a bit of planning. But if you are not convinced of the philosophy behind it, if outcome does not justify the team and it doesn't work out, you have to be okay with that as well. That's what I will say. But I am honored that you put the trust in me to copy the team. I mean, preferably to add your own elements to the draft as well, because ideally, right, you would be playing the game with your own thoughts and opinions as well, right? Zolis, Gross, and Jai Lafay, 2 of them for bench boost 1. Ideas. I would say Zolis and Lafay. If I'm to rank them, it'd be Zolis, Lafay, Njai, and Gross. Kindoichi, nice to have you in the chat. It's been a while. Good luck for the new season. Would you pick A or B? Just about B, but I think it depends on your keeper rotation as well. If Lemons rotates better with your other keeper, then fair enough. What do you think of O'Reilly as a pick? For me, O'Reilly is very, very high upside. Very high upside. I think there's just this small little risk that O'Reilly does not start all the games. It could be. That's the thing with Enzo Maresca coming in. If it was last season, I'd be very confident to have O'Reilly. I'd be very confident under Pep to have O'Reilly. But I don't know under the new setup if some games you could see Vardiol at left back. I don't know enough. And O'Reilly 6.5 million. He's very expensive. So he's not like a Van Dijk where Van Dijk is going to start every single game. I want to see a bit more from O'Reilly first before I go for him. But I am fully aware of his abilities and potential to get points. Lafay or Njai have Ipswich defender for bench boost game week 1. Then I guess Njai. I guess Njai to what do you call that? Maximize your variance. Mitchell this year. I don't know if I would go for Mitchell. I'd actually lay off Crystal Palace players entirely, to be honest. Isak, as I've mentioned, is mainly because of the minutes. I don't know if he can play the full 90 minutes every game. Let's have a look at the poll. 55% have Haaland, 45% don't have Haaland. Guys, surely this is not representative of the whole player base. So if you guys are watching and you're going no Haaland with me, I really hope it works out for all of us. Now I feel more pressure. Now I feel more pressure. Man, I have explaining to do, I have explaining to do. Ah, my gosh. My gosh. I'm gonna be behind the couch. I promise you that. I'll be behind the couch when Haaland's playing. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Let's hope. Let's hope it works out, guys. Man, now I am gosh, I am afraid now. I'm afraid. I mean, if it was just me, that'd be fine. Come on. We stick to our decisions. We stick to our decisions. There was a thought process behind it. You guys probably gonna hear this if I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if Haaland holds, you're still gonna hear this. It's probably a process we have to trust. Ramadian says, hello Leon, hope all is well. Ramadian, nice to have you in the chat again. Nice to see you. Another regular on Deadline Stream, so very nice to have you here. Not sure why people are doing bench boost so early. Wouldn't it be too risky as there'd be too many question marks? I think for this season, there's just been a shift in everyone's perspective on bench boost and how various. Okay, actually, I've spoken about this quite a bit in preseason, but bench boost one. There was three main reasons. Firstly, the keeper situation. There's no 4.0 million keeper. Secondly, the fixtures are there to target. Right, game week 1 you have Ipswich, Sunderland. Game week 2 you have Coventry and Hull. And the last reason is to get it out of the way. Right, so there's various reasons as to why people have decided this year or this season that they want to bench boost early, and I'm one of those as well. There will be the risks, and that's why you see that there will be the risk, and that's why you see that I've gone for very safe players. Very safe players. I don't want to bear too much of the risk. Tarkovsky and Saka, both of them, what do you think? I'm not so sure about Saka. Tarkovsky may be okay. Guys. Indoichi says, thanks, Leon. Take a punt on O'Reilly. Fair enough. Lemons, Roofs, White, Calafiori, O'Reilly, Davies. My voice is getting softer and softer. You can hear it's getting softer. Yeah, I think the team looks good, bro. Make FPL fun again. Worst comes to worst, there's exit points to get Haaland back by game week 3. Exactly that. Exactly that. That's the energy we are going for. That's the energy. Dre DG says, no Haaland bench boost one gang. Let's go. This is our season. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Thoughts on picking Rashford over Mbumo? I wouldn't, man. I wouldn't. Nice touch through the comments you're addressing on screen helps us to follow along. Thank you very much. This is something new. This is something new that I thought you guys would appreciate. So thank you for letting me know. Yeah, that's very, very nice to hear. By the way, there is 73 of you guys in the stream. I think most of you will probably be going soon once the big guys start their streams, probably myself as well. But if you're still here and you're not subscribed to the channel, could I ask a favor and please help me out to click the subscribe button? That would go a really, really long way. And yeah, drop a like on the stream as well. The support is more influential than you think it is. Random guy here, 2011 says, how is this for a Bruno? How is this for a no Bruno team? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where is the draft? Death Dragon Slayer 1 says, best 6 million mid on a bench boost game week 2. Maybe Kevin Schade. Maybe Kevin Schade, you know. Schade, Njai. Yeah, Schade, Njai. LaFay. Okay, Schade, Njai, LaFay. I'll put it in there. Thanks, Ashton, for that. Personally, I feel Haaland's the type of world-class player that's immune to managerial changes. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's fair enough. It's fair enough. What's better, Palestra and Calvert-Lewin or Igor Jesus, Neco Williams? Igor Jesus and Neco Williams run straight in game week 2 into Liverpool. So you have to bear that in mind. Maybe Palestra and Calvert-Lewin if you're looking to field those two players. Whew. Let me have a look at the poll. This poll is genuinely freaking me out. It's not a good thing. $54.46, guys. $54.46. I think I gotta give it to you guys. Like, thank you for putting your trust in me, man. I hope it works out, and we trust the process. Okay, I'm gonna leave that at that. Let's not talk too long about it. Okay. We're gonna go for another 15 minutes. If you guys are still here and you're watching, thank you very much. We're gonna go for another 15 minutes. If you haven't had your questions answered, drop it in the chat. After this, if you still want to chat with me, what I'll be doing is going over to the members chat. I'll be present in the members chat, answering the members' questions. So for those of you who want to continue chatting, you can check out the YouTube memberships down below. There's the link in the description, and yeah, you can just join the chat immediately. So that's for those of you who are interested. Okay, let me put this up. This is quite similar. Yeah, I mean, I think this team is fine. This team is fine. Zetlin says White for triple Arsenal defense and LaFay or Williams and Zolis for bench boost 1. Both would be fine, to be honest. Both are fine. Then I think for me, it comes down to longer term. It comes down to longer term. What's your plan? What are your thoughts on Buendia? I don't mind him. I think at some point he will become an option. because of how, a lot of players have left Aston Villa. Buendia has stayed. I think he will be pretty good for them. But they have Champions League. You have to remember that as well. Best 4.5 million enabler for a bench boost who already have triple Coventry. 4.5 million midfielder. Wow. Probably Slater then. Nick says closer than I expected. Trust me. Me too. Me too. Good luck for the season. It's a long season. No need to stress over game week 1. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Marcus is here to spy. He's here to spy, yeah? Yeah, it's team is here for everyone to see. Team is here for everyone to see. By the way, this has really gotten me past the 2 hours of streaming. So kudos to this milk tea. I haven't done a 2.5 hour stream in a really long time, by the way. So for those of you who just joined, that's the context behind this drink. Okay, apologies. Back. Oh. Yes, 15 minutes to go. I hope you guys have had your questions answered. Guys, I am so excited, man. So excited for game week 1. Honestly, football is finally back. I'm ready. I'm ready for all the pain and all the joy that it's going to bring. I am ready. Heaps of people will have Rogers. He'll be playing on the left, not his preferred position. Taking a gamble, I guess. Taking a gamble. Aye or Calvert-Lewin. Play Calvert-Lewin. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Brian says, welcome back. Good luck to you. Good luck to everyone for Game Week 1. Nice to have you in the chat again, Brian. Brian is one of the OGs on the channel. Always here for the Dead 9 streams. Thank you very much. Which other content creators would you recommend or listen to? I listen to Planet FPL quite a bit. And Let's Talk FPL, Andy. Yeah, lots of great creators in the FPL space. So plenty to go for. And the quality of FPL content, like in general, it's just has really been very informative, if you ask me. Like I genuinely like the community aspect of it. Like how everyone, even on the Twitter community, like everyone is interacting with each other, playing the game together, helping each other out. That's one of the best things about the FPL community, in my opinion. Thank you very much for liking the stream, Remedia. If you guys haven't already, please do drop a like. We will be going for another 10 minutes, I think. Or if there's no more questions, I might just end the stream. Let me know. Again, if you guys have any. If not, we might end it right here. Sangari fit to play. Good pick for GW1. Yes. Sangari is fit to play for Brentford. Looking good. Sangari is looking good for DEFCONs. Huck says, don't end the stream. Plenty of questions. Get him in. Get him in. Get them in. Thoughts on Gonzalo Garcia? I just don't really like Fulham. The prospects of Fulham. Yeah, but I mean, I want to see what Arbeloa does with the team first. Maybe you can consider setting up an alternative account to go against a template go and see what's the differences at the end of the season. Interesting. I mean, I know people who do that, but as it stands for me, it's hard enough to manage one team already. I think so much about it. Only want to go double Arsenal attack? Fair enough. I hope that one works out for you. Soboslai, Gakpo. Soboslai for me. Gakpo might leave Liverpool. Broby covered Lewin. Why did you go for Thiago and Igor? Man. Thiago, I like, right? I think Brentford's attack is underrated. Igor Jesus is mainly because he's the 8th attacker, and so I've considered the weeks that I need this 8th attacker, compact Calvert-Lewin and Igor Jesus, and I prefer Igor Jesus' fixtures. Why not Lacroix over Colwell? Don't have enough money. Thinking behind Igor Jesus versus Calvert-Lewin. I said that already. Like and subscribe. Please do like and subscribe. Thank you, Henry, for this. Sangari or Forrest or Gomez for a 5 million pick? Gomez. Iwobi 5.5. I think Groves is better for 5.5. What do you think of Richarlison? Not convinced. Not convinced is what I'll say. Not convinced. Ashton, that's a nice one. Considering Sanderberg, there's better 5 mil mids though. Better 5 mil mids. Tonali, he's okay. Matthias Tell could be a good pick this season. At some point, I'm sure. At some point, if he gets consistent starts, I'm sure. Okay. We might leave it here, my friends. We might leave it here. Let me just check on a couple of things. Okay. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. I think we're going to leave it at that. It is 8 minutes earlier than I expected, but I think we're good with the questions. So before I sign off, firstly, guys, thank you for tuning in for 2.5 hours. For those of you who have been here all the way, it's been a blast. FPL is back. I cannot wait for the games. Lock in your teams on time. There's still 2 hours to go, so plenty of time to, do your last minute research, look up on the news, any kind of info that you need, last few decisions, lock in the team, and then trust me, enjoy the games. Put the team aside and enjoy the games for a while. Football is finally back, and that's what we all want. All right, so thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for all the nice messages in the chat as well. Jitan, Nick, Joe, SW.K as well. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you staying here. And I will catch you guys in Game Week 2 content that's coming very soon. All right, Game Week 2 tomorrow, Saturday night, there will be a video already. All right, so I'll see you guys then. All the best for Game Week 1. FPL is back. All the best. I will see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.